falling star. When you make a wish, ooh, just remember luck is no such thing. One man succeeds while another man fails. Why is it then you ask the stars up above, the planets of light, who controls your very soul? From the beginning of birth and throughout eternity, that's the stars up above.
Just ask them.
Ooh,
Just ask them.
planets of light, who controls your very soul?
Coming to you live from New York City, you're watching Astrology-Numerology now for Monday, October 29th, 2018. I'm your host, you already know. This is Z Starman, professional astrologer, numerologist, where every week at this time we bring you live from the studios of Manhattan Neighborhood Network in Midtown Manhattan, New York City, the latest astrology news and information. And as I always say, real astrology, real numerology in real time. If you want to call the show, we got a lot going on the show tonight. We got so much going on the show tonight that I got to fill you guys in. All you astrology lovers, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Keep it locked right where it is. Call the show. Let's show them the number one more time, control room. 212-757-1393 is the number to call for the latest astrology news and information. Now, on tonight's show, we're going to fill you in with November 2018 highlights. What's going on for the month of November? What's coming up for November? I want to throw all this information at you guys because we won't be here for another 2-3 weeks maybe. So giving you all the latest November astrology, numerology highlights right now. And you can call the show, 212-757-1393. I want to say what's up to all my viewers who are watching the show on the BCAT channel in BCAT, Brooklyn, New York City. BCAT all day and all night too. Welcome to Astrology Numerology Now. I want you guys to stay locked in because you won't have a show for a couple of weeks. So I'm filling in all November 2018 astrology numerology highlights for you guys. So let's get it started. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios. It's Scorpio season. Happy birthday to those with Scorpio rising signs and Scorpio sun signs. It's the start of your astrological new year. There's all the symbols for Scorpio, the star formation that make up Scorpio. But I want to show you the Native American symbol for the sign of Scorpio. The Native American symbol for the sign of Scorpio is the snake. You know, scorpions are sneaky and they're dangerous, and so are most snakes. Snakes are very smart creatures. They're very intelligent creatures. Every astrological sign has a animal sign in Native American astrology. So the Scorpio's Native American sign is the snake. They can be cunning, mischievous, slippery, and poisonous, just like a real Scorpio. So this Scorpio season, I want to say happy birthday to all the Scorpio, the sexy Scorpio ladies and the handsome Scorpio men out there. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios. And if you got Scorpio rising sign, this is the start of your astrological new year. There's a lot of stuff going on in the side of Scorpio. Up next, since the name of the show is Astrology Numerology Now, from a numerology point of view, November 2014 or 2018 is going to be a 4 universal month. Let me get it out, control room. It's going to be a 4 universal month. Go back to 4. It's a 4 universal month. Now, I was talking to some numerology friends, and they said it's a 22 universal month because November is the 11th month of the year, and this is a 11 universal year. So we add those two 11s together, we get a 22 universal month. But I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to call it a 4 universal month. It's a 4 universal month. The 4's vibration is about foundation and building. Get your mind right, as we say here at the studios of Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and start building a foundation, to start to go to work in preparation for 2019. The 4 universal month also favors people born on the 4th, like the 4th, the 13th of the month, the 22nd of the month, 2 + 2 = 4, and also the 31st of the month. The number 4 also rules the sign of Aquarius. So this is a great energy. I know my sound man, Stan the Man Mitchell, is listening to this. So this is a great month for most Aquarius from a numerology point of view, because it's a 4 universal month. 212-757-1393. If you're watching the show live from New York City in Manhattan, turn your channels to channel 1993 and watch the show on Manhattan Neighborhood Network HD. We have an HD channel just like ABC, CBS, NBC. Manhattan's Neighborhood Network's HD channel is channel 1993. So you'll see me in a better picture, better quality. It's in high definition. Now, up next, what are the big news? Some of the big news that everyone has been waiting for, and especially if you're a Sagittarius and if you have Sagittarius rising sign, on November 8th, this is going to be a beautiful start for you when Jupiter, your ruling planet, enters the sign of Sagittarius. Jupiter will be in the sign of Sagittarius on November 8th. From November 8th, Jupiter stays in a sign for a whole year. Do we have that picture, control room? Jupiter will be in the sign of Sagittarius on November 8th. Jupiter stays in a sign for 1 year. Over the last year, it's been in the sign of Scorpio, but now Jupiter is returning to its ruling sign, Jupiter comes back to the sign of Sagittarius for the first time in 12 years. It takes Jupiter 12 years to go around the sun or to go around the zodiac. So Jupiter's returning back to its home sign when it comes back to the sign of Sagittarius. And I know a lot of people with Sagittarius rising sign and Sagittarius sun sign, or wherever you got Venus in Sagittarius, this is a moment you can look forward to. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. It's about 1,300 times bigger than the size of the planet Earth. And where Jupiter is called the Great Benefit, because it brings abundance. A lot of people put on weight when they have Jupiter in the sign or passing through their zodiac sign. But Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius is special, and it's special for me because it was 12 years ago when I started my media career, first on radio and then on M&N. But Jupiter brings abundance, it brings luck, it brings philosophy and higher mind and higher thought, and especially if you are a Sagittarius. Jupiter, once again, will be in the sign of Sagittarius from November 8, 2018. It's going to go retrograde. There we have it. We finally have it. Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius from November 8th. There it is, Jupiter with that giant red spot in it. From November 8th to December 2nd, 2019. And Jupiter will be retrograde in Sagittarius from April 10th to August 11th. See, Jupiter retrogrades about 4 months out of the year. So, get ready for Jupiter in Sagittarius. I'm going to have a YouTube video. It should be up by the end of the week to talk about the significance of Jupiter being in Sagittarius. I'm excited. If you're a Sagittarius, you should be excited. If you're any of the fire signs, Leo or Aries, be excited about Jupiter returning to the sign of Sagittarius. 212-757-1393 is the number to call to talk to me. Maybe you want to talk about the significance of Jupiter in Sagittarius, how it rolls in your chart. If you're an Aries, give me a call. Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, no matter what sign you are, know who you are from an astrology and numerology point of view. We're live from Money Making Manhattan in New York City. This is Z Starman. If you're just tuning in, Astrology-Numerology now has been on the air for the last 10 years. 10 years we've been on live television almost every Monday night, giving you the latest astrology, numerology information, and I bring my take. I know there are a lot of astrology people and astrology schools. I'm a self-taught astrologer. For the last 40 years, I've had mentors and teachers, but I bring my take, my brand, my style of astrology and numerology every Monday night on Manhattan Neighborhood Network and in Brooklyn on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. So give me a call. 212-757-1393 is the number to call. We're talking November 2018 astrology and numerology highlights. In addition to Jupiter entering the sign of Sagittarius, what we have currently going on is Venus is retrograde. Venus is retrograde in the sign of Libra and Scorpio. Venus, if you look at the television screen, Venus is retrograde from October 5th to November 16th. We got a couple more weeks to go. Venus rules love, money, romance, personal possessions, and Venus is retrograde from November 15th, and it goes direct. It goes stationary direct on November 16th. But Venus is about to enter the sign of Scorpio. Venus is about to come back to the sign of Scorpio on October 31st, and Venus is coming back to the sign of Libra. So now there are a lot of Libra people out there, and especially people born on the latter stages of Libra. Let's say if your birthday is around October 15th to about the 22nd, this is a chance for you to make up some lost ground when it comes to money, business, finance, your love life, because that's what Venus rules. Venus is retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. It's about to go into the sign of Libra, fall back into the sign of Libra. It's going to be challenging if you have the moon in the sign of Capricorn, or if you have any of the moon signs in the cardinal signs like Aries, like Cancer, like Capricorn. Should be beneficial for the air signs like Libra and Aquarius, but Venus is retrograde. The same thing you do with a Mercury retrograde, you do with a Venus retrograde. You don't start any new romantic flings. It's all because that's what Venus is about. It's about love. It's about money. It's about finances. So one of the rules of thumb is that you don't start a new romantic relationship during a Venus retrograde. And also, as I said this before, you don't break up with anybody during a Venus retrograde also. I know somebody who broke up with somebody, and the person they broke up with won, let's say, like $100,000 in the lottery or something like that. So they were, out of that fortune. But Venus is about a time of adjusting your finances. You see a lot of old lovers in relationships sort of kind of rekindle themselves, and especially in the sign of Scorpio and in the sign of Libra. So we got Venus retrograde that's going to keep going on in the sign of Libra until November 16th, 2018. Hold on. Don't do anything rash. Don't sleep with anybody until after the retrograde, and especially your Libra people and your Scorpio people. 212-757-1393. If you're just watching the show, if you're just tuning in, you're watching Astrology-Numerology now. I'm your host, Z Starman, professional astrologer, numerologist, and I want to give you a reading. Don't be scared to call the show. The show in the number control room. 212-757-1393 is the number to call. If you're in Inwood, Upper East Side, Lower East Side, Harlem, no matter where you're watching the show. If you're watching the show online, my Facebook friends, some of my friends from a Society of Indigenous Astrologers, let's call the show. Call me and talk to me on the show. International Society of Black Astrologers, call the show. Association of Professional Astrologers, call the show. Let's talk astrology. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to be here for another couple of weeks, so I'm trying to talk to you and also get out the latest astrology and numerology news and information for November 2018. Up next, from an astrology point of view, we got a new moon coming up. We have a new moon coming up in the sign of Scorpio. And that's going to happen the day before Jupiter goes into the sign of Scorpio. There we have the new moon. Now, why do we call it a new moon? Because if you ever look at the Farmer's Almanac, you have the first quarter, the new moon, first quarter, full moon, excuse me, and the third quarter. The new moon is when we can't see the sun in the sky. We can see the sun in the sky for at least about 28 or about 25 days of the 28 days that it takes the moon to go around. But the new moon in the sign of Scorpio, you know, I hate to say this, but there's a lot of, you know, things, a lot of death and transition. I want to give my condolences to the Pittsburgh 11, the people who lost their lives through senseless violence in the Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh. My condolences goes out to everybody in their family, in the Jewish community worldwide. I mean, we got to stop this madness. You know, the universe is going to stop it for us, you know, if we're not careful. If you ever see the movie, what's the name of that movie? The Day the Earth Stood Still. Not the Keanu Reeves version, but the 1951 version, black and white version, starring Michael Rennie. And when the alien came to the Earth and warned the inhabitants of the planet Earth that, look, if y'all don't stop this violence, these atomic bombs, these senseless killings, we're going to do something about it. And so I'm feeling something like that. We're going to get a message from outside of planet Earth that's going to warn us, if we don't stop this madness, senseless killing people in churches in Charleston, South Carolina, killing people, innocent people in a synagogue in Pittsburgh. It's time for this to stop. And you know when it stops? It stops when we get Trump out of the White House. A lot of you are going to say, look, you know, this is happening before Trump, but right now we need to get Trump out of the White House. We're almost on election day. I want everybody, boys and girls who are over 18, go out there and vote. Voting will get Trump out of the White House, and hopefully we can change the Senate, we can change the Congress. All this is going to happen on the new moon in the sign of Scorpio, which, you know, unfortunately happens after the day of the election, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens that following day. November 7th is the day of the new moon in Scorpio. Hopefully it'll be a new beginning for all of us here in the United States of America when we take back Congress, and by some miracle we should happen to win the Senate. All right, enough political commentary. 212-757-1393 is the number to call. Talk to me, Z Starman, about astrology, about numerology. We're going to keep it going. I can do this all night. Now, up next is another planetary change that we have coming up. A lot of planets moving and changing and going from one sign to the next sign during the month of November. And one of the planets moving into another sign is the planet Uranus, or Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. And Uranus is moving back into the sign of Aries. Uranus entered the sign of Taurus on May 15th of this year, but it's now currently retrograde. It's been retrograde for the last couple of weeks, but it's retrograding back into the sign of Aries. So a lot of you Aries people, there's some unfinished business. A lot of you Aries people, or if you have Aries rising sign, Uranus, which is the planet of sudden changes, is about to flip back into the sign of Aries. So again, all my cardinal signs who you're going to have Venus, Uranus opposition. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be on Halloween. For the live studio audience, watch out for Halloween. Watch out for the 31st of October, all the craziness and madness. Now, I like Halloween too, but I want everyone to enjoy themselves, be safe, be careful, don't drink too much, don't smoke too much, and just keep your eyes open for the events that are getting ready to happen. Again, Uranus, let's show them that again one more time, control room. Uranus is about to fall back into the sign of Aries. It has some unfinished business to take care of in the sign of Aries. So Uranus will be in Aries from November 6th to March 6th, and then it will come back in the sign of Taurus. So if you're born in the last degrees of Aries, or you're born in the last degrees of Libra, or if you have planets in any of the last degrees of the fixed signs, like Cancer, like Aries, like Libra, and like Capricorn, it's Judgment Day. It's time for you to get your act together, because Uranus is now falling back into the sign of Aries. 212-757-1393. We want to find out how Aries, Uranus and Aries is going to affect you. We got all these new planets, Jupiter in Sagittarius. You want to know how that's going to affect you? Give me a call right now. We have a couple of minutes left in the show, and we can talk astrology, talk numerology. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, know who you are from an astrology and numerology point of view. This is the time of the year when we're starting to transition over into 2019. So it's time to start to get ready. It's always time to know who you are from an astrology and numerology point of view. Again, 212-757-1393 is the number to call. Up next, I can go all night. Mercury. Mercury is getting ready to go into the sign of Sagittarius. Any Sagittarius people out there? So we got Jupiter in Sagittarius. We got Mercury into the sign of Sagittarius. There we have Mercury enters the sign of Sagittarius from October 31st. That's what I'm saying. Keep your eyes open for Halloween. And if you're watching in Brooklyn, because you're going to see the show next week, keep your eyes open for things that happens after Halloween. So Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius. Mercury doesn't work well in Sagittarius. Mercury is in its detriment when it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So Mercury is like a little small planet. Sagittarius is like, let's say it's a big space, and Mercury gets lost in Sagittarius. If you're Sagittarius, be careful what you say. All my mutable signs, like Gemini, like Virgo, like Pisces, and also Sagittarius, it's not a cool time. Be careful of what you say. And also, I just want to say this to everybody. Right after the Venus retrograde on November 16th, and that's going to end like at 5 o'clock in the morning, Venus retrograde on November 16th. 12 hours later, check this out, 12 hours later, Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is retrograde Mercury is in or will be in retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius and in the sign of Scorpio from November 16th to December 6th. Hey, universe, what are you doing to us? You're giving us a double whammy here. We're going to end in a Venus retrograde, and we're going to follow that up the same day, 12 hours later, with a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. So there's good news and bad news for Sagittarius people, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. It's sort of kind of like Venus retrograde ends. It's sort of kind of, you ever see triathlons or triathletes? First you swim like 4 or 5 miles, and then after you get out of the ocean, you have to do a bike ride, and then after that, you have to do a marathon. So this is sort of kind of what the universe and everybody is being put through now with these retrogrades going on. So it's a matter of adjustment. Be ready for Mercury retrograde in the month of November, right after Venus is retrograde. Now, after that, again, as I spoke earlier, on Halloween, and watch the after effects of this if you're watching after Halloween. And this Halloween is going to be a big day, a lot of drama. I'm not going to the parade this year, but Venus will be opposite Uranus on October 31st. Do we have that aspect? There it is. What are you looking at? The circle with the cross on the bottom, that's the astrological symbol for Venus. The symbol in the middle is opposition, meaning things are opposite. Like it's sort of kind of like one planet is opposite the other, and then we have the sign for Uranus. So Venus will be opposite Uranus. Venus will be in Libra, Uranus will be in Aries. Uranus will still be in Taurus, my bad. But that opposition, that Venus-Uranus opposition, be careful, be mindful. I look for a big crash on Wall Street that day. There's a lot of stuff going on from an astrology and numerology point of view. Jupiter's in the sign of Sagittarius. We're going to have Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, all these things we have to clear up before we begin 2019. And last but not least, I just want to say, well, we got one more quick thing. Mars will be moving into the sign of Pisces. Mars is going to be in the sign of Pisces. The date is supposed to be November 15th to December 31st. So Mars is in Pisces. So all my Pisces people, keep your eyes open. A lot of strength and a lot of energy to you. And last but not least, over the weekend, we lost the jewel in the world of theater and poetry and playwright, and when we lost Indastaki Shange. For those of you who don't know, Indastaki Shange, she wrote the script for Colored Girls Who's Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. Her birthday is October 18th, 1948. Her moon sign is Pisces. Excuse me, her moon sign is Taurus, and her life path number is number 5. That's about all the time. I'm going to look in the camera 4. That's about all the time we have for astrology, numerology now. I want to thank my control room, Deetra, Josie Ann, and Stan the Man. This is Z Starman saying peace, love, light, namaste.
And throughout eternity, that's the stars up above.
Just ask them.
Ooh,
Just ask them.
the planets of light. Who controls your very soul? Ask them why you're always so sound and practical. Yet Gemini, so inconsistent. Ooh, let me tell you a secret I know. Known the world over, your life is controlled by the stars.
Just ask them.
Ooh, the planet of light. Virgo is known for versatility, while Taurus for persistency. Yet Aries to be very, very ambitious. Libra, the cheerful and merry one.
Pisces, you fish. You are a romantic, constantly striving to escape from reality into the blessed land of your dreams.